Authorities in northwestern Nigerian state of Zamfara say they'll start issuing out licenses for people to carry guns to defend themselves against armed gangs of kidnappers. The deadly attacks and kidnappings have increased in recent months.
The authorities in the Zamfara state say locals would first need to register before getting a weapon. The local government believes that arming civilians will help deal with rising levels of insecurity in that part of the country. The governor of Zamfara has also ordered the closure of markets in 3 districts, banned the use of motorcycles and sales of petroleum products. A shoot-to-kill order has been given to anyone found using a motorcycle in these areas. Nigeria is struggling to curb a deadly wave of kidnappings for ransom by armed gangs in the northern part of the country. The gangs often target unprotected rural communities, schools and motorists on highways.
Deyemi Saka is a public affairs and independent intelligence analyst. He joins us now from Lagos, Nigeria, to talk about this. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us. So Zamfara Governor Bello Matawalle has ordered the issuing of licenses so that citizens can carry guns to defend themselves against what he says are armed groups. Has this been largely welcomed?
Yeah, for me, I think this is the right time for everybody in Zamfara to rally around behind their governor. If you ask me, that's a valid call. Whether we like it or not, the truth must be said and must be told. The security agencies have failed the people of Nigeria, have failed people of Zamfara most importantly. The crisis has been ongoing since 2012, 13, thereabout. And I think there was a time that the only time you see military presence, especially from 2015 to 2019, especially in villages like Maru in Zamfara, is when workers of the farm of the former governor are being escorted by security agents. The people in Zamfara don't probably know who President Muhammadu Buhari is. They don't feel it. Muhammadu Buhari is in Abuja. The person that the people in Zamfara hold accountable for the safety of their lives and property is Governor Bello Muhammad Matawalle. And I think the only thing they can do is just to get his people to defend themselves. They've been helpless, they've been killed, they've been maimed, they've been raped, they've been defiled. And you can't expect a governor with empathy that really wants to work and, secure his state. The only thing left for him is to galvanize his people, and they come up with communal efforts to keep the state safe.
So, Deyemi, tell me something. Can you confirm that gun permits for self-defense are rare in Nigeria, and that Zamfara could be the first state to offer mass approvals?
Well, as long as, in as much as there are existing laws in the country that prohibit possession of firearms, especially when it comes to automatic rifles and assault rifles. But I think there's also the enabling laws, the extant laws that allow Nigerians to bear arms, which is probably what they can get is shotguns. I think that's what the governor is looking at. But probably we're not getting to the stage where people will be armed with automatic or assault rifles, but they could have a sort of a firearm good enough to defend themselves. Look at hunters that used to den guns, the locally made guns. But get what is commonly called pump actions on the streets, and the streets balance for it. But what the security expert calls shotguns is what they need, and that's what they can procure under the existing law, and the license comes from the Commissioner of Police in the state. So I think the governor laid out the process and procedures, how they should go about it. And the governor has even expanded the Vigilante network in the state. I think recruited 3,000 additional men to the existing force. These are the efforts they need to keep this state safe. Whether we like it or not, the people in Zamfara, the people across the country have lost confidence in the Nigerian military, and they just have to defend themselves. And that's the right thing to do. And I don't think it's a crime. It's criminal for anybody to want to defend himself or his family or his household against criminals.
All right. So just also getting
the government
clarity.
is looking at existing laws which empower citizens to bear a limited class of firearms, which is shotgun.
Deyemi, can you just allow us to this is not a case of a value judgment. We just need to understand the facts here. So we understand the governor has spoken about giving about 500 licenses to be distributed, but has Governor Matawalle clarified the directive in terms of the issuing of licenses? So who will qualify and under what circumstances will they qualify? Are you able to share that information with us?
Yeah, I think you laid it out. It's out there in the open. Everybody, there'll be security vetting of an individual coming forward to possess, to seek license for firearms, and you actually went to the State House of Assembly, to get the enabling laws to come up with the informant bill, which empowers the government to do more in terms of getting the most important thing we've been clamoring for in the fight against terror, which is human intelligence. With the rights and the enabling laws in place, with the collaboration of the police, because the police is actually responsible for public safety, with the police involved, I think the firearms will be issued to the right people and not the wrong set of people, because there's an existing vigilante group in the state. And I think the bulk of the people I think the initial set of people that will bear firearms are those members of the vigilante squad, which includes the local hunters and residents or members of communities across the different emirates in Zamfara State.
So this is a very interesting mix, so to speak. I mean, the government says it's hereby directing the military, police, civil defense and other security agencies to mobilize their operatives and take up the fight to the enclaves of the criminals with immediate effect. And you say this
Can you speak up a bit?
All right, so the governor says that the military, the police, and civil defense and security agencies are being called upon to mobilize their operatives to fight the enclaves of the criminals. And you have also in tandem spoken about an existing vigilante network. So is this a sort of formalizing of the working together of all of these different parts, moving parts?
No, for me, I probably will not say, because the vigilante group has been existing at some point. Even it started from Borno State in the height of the insurgency in 2014, 2015. So it's a thing spreading across northern Nigeria. But for me, it's not probably stamping the vigilante body and a seal of legality or legitimacy. It's probably an indictment of the Nigerian security agencies that have failed at their responsibilities and primary roles and duty in protecting Nigerians. These are indictments of the commander-in-chief, because I can't blame the governor of Zamfara State. I can't blame the people of Zamfara State, because look at the Nigerian military. There's a Nigerian military that oftentimes has been hearing stories and reports of personnel being arrested for conspiracy or complicity in everything that's been ongoing in the country when it comes to security. And you can see you see the reflection of it in their responses to what is happening. Now, the governor at some point made a call to the security agencies or security agents, especially the army and the police, that they should not wait till when they are being attacked. That sometimes they should take the battle to the terrorists. But oftentimes what you see happen in Zamfara is they just tend to become a counter force or a countermeasure. After attack, you now see them trying to repel or retake a community or recover a community from the stronghold of the terrorists. And it shouldn't be. We should not wait. We should always be fighting back. And that's what the governor is saying. And you find out that and I believe that with these policies in place, the terrorists or the group will have a rethink. And all confirmed reports, as we speak, as I today said, are that because of this pronouncement by the governor, the terrorists are even open to dialogue and negotiation, and I even release some people in their captivity.
In your view, so we understand that there has been an increase in these incidents, and I'd like to hear from you. What are the facts at hand? Is it largely kidnappings for ransom in Zamfara? And why is it that authorities say that even the Nigerian police are sometimes overwhelmed by these violent attacks? What is the weaknesses in the system?
What is happening in Zamfara is full-blown terrorism. It's not just about kidnapping. It's not just about banditry. Banditry to some of us was just a watered-down classification or different, classification of the activities and who these people are. These people are terrorists, and they are cross-border terrorists. Sometimes they're moving from Niger or neighboring countries or around that axis of Nigeria. So it's beyond the Nigerian police. We're talking about the sovereign integrity of Nigeria being questioned, being attacked, and that's what has been happening for so long. A lot of people probably want to tell you that it has to do with illegal gold mining, but it has gone beyond that. It is pure terrorism.
All right, so let's look at past measures that have been taken to curb this practice. It includes telecommunications, blackouts, and a series of curfews, but they've not achieved the results that they've sought. Can you share with us what would happen during the times when these methods have been employed, and what others can be, examined beyond what we're talking about, mass licensing of firearms for citizens to be able to protect themselves?
Okay, let me pick it up from this part. The time that the governor shut down telecommunications in Zamfara State, it was probably the first person to pioneer initiate such move. And when he did that, other states governors in the region, took up the template, and there was a shutdown of telecommunications, shutdown of land borders between states from one state, neighboring state to the other. Yeah, with that move, what they wanted to achieve or intended to achieve was to cut the communication channel and logistic channel, and not at the same time stop the crisscrossing of this terrorist group across states they've been operating: Niger, Katsina, Kaduna, and Zamfara and Kebbi and Sokoto. Now, having done that, they did the right thing. It was left for the federal government, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, and his national security advisor, Major General Babagana Mungono. They were meant to go beyond the state governments and shut the international borders with Niger. Doing that, you've created a buffer zone between the states and the terrorists, and you now have an isolated battleground to neutralize the terrorists. But no, the federal government did not do that. The states tried, and the state does not have the control over international borders. And so what happened was the terrorists could not move around within the northwest region of Nigeria. But what they were doing was just crossing into Niger and getting back into Nigeria. So the supplies that the governors intend cutting off in Nigeria was just within Nigeria, because they kept getting supplies from Niger. So that was why the whole process failed. So if the federal government has been alive to its responsibilities, probably would have gotten beyond this phase.
Right.
So that's why sometimes some of us question the kind of advice the National Security Advisor has given Mr. President. Because Nigeria, especially Northwest, is not safe.
So what advice would you be giving the president?
I didn't get that.
What advice would you be giving the president?
Well, as a patriotic Nigerian that still want the sovereignty or the sovereign integrity of this country intact and protected, I will advise my commander-in-chief, Mr. President, to do more. I tell people what we need to do is the Nigerian military, the population is ridiculously low. We have under 20,000 men across all forces: Nigerian Navy, Army, and Air Force. We need to expand our military. We need to equip and expand the air wing of the Nigerian Army, because the Army is actually the leading branch of the military taking on this war. We need to expand the military. We need to expand the air wing of the Army. We need to buy more attack helicopters, and we need to go to technology, deploy drones. We should not be fighting this war with primitive ideas. We can't be shutting borders at will. We need to also go about reducing the combative and non-combative collateral damages, which means the human lives that are lost as collateral damage, and military personnel that are KIA, killed in action.
All right, thank you so much.
So this is what the president should do, and they should just end this war and keep Nigerians safe, and there should be the political will to move against these people. We can't be treating them like very important criminals. They are terrorists, and Nigeria is at war.
Okay, thank you so much for your time and sharing your insights with us. Deyemi Saka is a public affairs and independent intelligence analyst. He speaks to us from Lagos in Nigeria.